Hello, my name is Roel. I am almost 25 years old now, and I started studying with Sue, 14 years ago, when I was just about 11. And right now, I am living in London. I graduated from another drama school there, and working as an actor. She was in the middle of rehearsing a production of Oliver Twist, and I joined the company a little bit late in the year because I was at the moment with a different teacher who recommended I join her join Sue's crew, and I ended up playing Oliver's uncle. And I remember the very first time that Sue had to really correct me was when we were rehearsing and I was speaking way too soft, and she had to say, like, "Excuse me, I can't hear you, Roel," because I was still teeny tiny little shy boy. But instantly I felt an amazing atmosphere in the room with all the people present. Very warm, nurturing environment, definitely. It's a very interesting mix of a place that's safe for anyone who's different from most people, but at the same time very driven, because we all find that we have something in common, that we can perform, that we can make something special, and it was an environment where we were all encouraging each other to bring the best out of each other and simply perform the best we can together. To believe in myself. That was I already learned many lessons from her before I learned that one, but that one hit like a ton of bricks. It's definitely one of the main things that Sue will ever teach you, to believe in yourself, which is, especially at this time, has such an impact on young people, I think, because a lot of people, they go to school and they have to conform to what other people are like, and if they're slightly different they need to like slightly change themselves, because otherwise it's not quite right, and they might end up being bullied or excluded, and the result of that is that you don't really believe in what you are and who you are and what you can do, and you're never really encouraged to even explore what the possibilities of what you can do. And under Sue's tuition, I started experimenting with that, and then you reach a moment where it's scary to go forward, where you start to reach a new level of your ability, but you're afraid to touch on it because you're feeling like, I'm not sure if I can do it, I'm not sure if I should do it. That's where her lesson to believe in yourself really shows its colors. It expands your limits. One very important aspect I can talk about in terms of all three disciplines, both dancing, singing, and acting, is precision. Knowing exactly what it is that you're about to do. So obviously in dance it's very self-explanatory, knowing exactly what the movement is that you're about to do, and then knowing exactly in what rhythm, what time. Same applies for singing. Always when you're tackling a new song, Sue will always ask you first to sing it exactly the way it was originally written, without trying out any decorations or special improvisations on your singing, because first you need to learn how the song was written. Because by knowing the basics precisely, then you know how you can improvise and expand on that. And in terms of acting, precision is just as important, because you want to know exactly what it is that you're saying. With every line in your script, You want to know exactly what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you want from the person you're talking to, what it is that you're trying to tell the audience at that moment. And those are all things that you have to think about. Everything that you do, whether it's in dance or whether it's in song or whether it's in acting, you have to prepare. And yeah, a lot of time in Sue's classes you will be spending it preparing, rehearsing, trying things out instead of just going straight away performing it. You can't do it without discipline, and this is actually a wonderful thing because Sue really drills in the discipline hard. She will demand a lot of work from you. And it's a wonderful thing because me, having continued later on to another course in London, I found that that mentality that she gave me with working hard and being disciplined, it worked wonders for me in the next course. Hard work can carry you very far, and it's definitely a large chunk of what you need to really become successful at your craft. It also takes passion, but I think, you know, like if you can't work hard without being passionate about it anyway. And some people are blessed with a whole lot of talent. But sometimes having talent doesn't mean that you're going to make it automatically, because having talent can also mean that you might not treat it properly, you might not nurture it. I've seen many times where Sue would sniff out somebody who's definitely got the talent. At a very young age, she could already smell it. And she would nurture it over years and over years, and you can later see the result, and you see this person who once was a child do amazing things on the dance floor or with his voice. Over the years, in every student that's come through Sue's classes, I've seen development of precision, most of all development of understanding what it is they are doing with their bodies and with their voices. I remember when I started, it's a very strange experience to try and do something very special with your voice or with your body, but you have no idea what it is exactly that it is yet. And then slowly over the years, it just becomes habit, becomes natural, and then you achieve that that characteristic that is essential to a great performer, which is to make it look easy. And that's what you start to see with the students who've been with Sue for a long time. Usually the students who really commit themselves to the classes, they always end up becoming great friends, for one thing, but that's just a bonus. Making great friends in this group, it's for some reason it seems to happen all by itself, but it's very important to remember that that is just a bonus to what you get alongside the classes. The main focus has to be the classes, but that isn't lost to those who really are serious about it, so you will often see them arrive to class early to run through a couple of dances or get in an extra hour of warming up their bodies. One of my dear friends, Melchior, who I've been with Sue's classes for quite a few years, and we had this kind of competition going on with each other, where we would always try to just be better than the other one, because we were both very adept in the dance classes, and sometimes we'd be fighting over lead parts in certain dances, but always in a very friendly way. And I think that is an ideal thing to have in classes like this, someone to aspire to, someone who you always want to be better than, but not in a mean or nasty way. It's just a way to measure your own skill, and it's always important to have the ambition to keep on improving. When I first came to Sue, as I said earlier, I was very soft and shy little boy. but also already kind of kind of nutty, I suppose, a bit crazy in the head, which I think Sue noticed as a sign that I had a spark of creativity in me, and a sign that I had latent ability in myself to be free. And over the years, the main thing I think Sue had to do with me was channel all that energy and creativity towards a focus. So she taught me how to, because like if she would ask me to improvise a scene, I would go all over the place and lose topic, and nobody would know where the hell we even started or where it's going and where it's going to end. And so over the years, Sue's helped me improve that in the sense of knowing where to go. Once again, it's precision and understanding what it is that I'm doing. In terms of acting, she's over the years just inspired me by sharing with me all great works by Shakespeare, other writers. Whenever I found something myself that I was inspired by, she would encourage that and encourage me to read a little bit of it in class. She would encourage me with different songs that would suit my style. Over the years, she's helped me find my voice in singing, and constantly nurturing my passion to just express myself, really. And by trial and practice, it just becomes a craft. It's something that I expected to be difficult years ago, and I started, to be honest, I mentally started preparing myself for that years ago. When I was about 14, 15, Sue already told me that she wanted to train me so that I would be ready to go to London, and she delivered. And back then I already knew it was going to be difficult because I knew I was going to be leaving friends and family behind. That's already one thing. Professionally speaking, it's dog eat dog out there. There's so many people aspiring to be actors, some of them serious, some of them not, but that ultimately doesn't always make a lot of difference in who gets a job, because sometimes it just goes to whoever looks right for what they need. It's essential to believe in yourself and not take the rejection personally, because well, to be honest, for one, I enjoy every audition I go to, and I hear from my other friends in London that is not a usual thing. But I enjoy showing what I can do, and I enjoy talking to a new director, and I believe in my ability, and I believe in my personality as well, and I believe in my work ethic. And usually in an audition, you do a monologue or a scene reading, and then you usually have a little chat with whoever's going to be hiring you. And in that chat they'll be trying to feel whether or not you'll be a pleasant person to work with, whether or not you're going to be serious. And I always have faith that I do well in those areas. In fact, I've had messages where directors said that they wish they could have hired me, but alas, they needed someone who was just slightly better in guitar, or slightly longer, or whatever. But yes, it's very, very important to never take that personally. I think in Sue's classes, it's a wonderful place for young people to find themselves, to discover who they really are, and it's absolutely fine for them to not necessarily know what it is they want to do in the future. But I think in Sue's classes, it's very important to seriously ask yourself that question: could I be a performer? Because if I like the idea of becoming a performer, then right now is the time to start working, and work hard. People who are interested in any way, in any form of creative expression, because it's crazy, but even if you're just interested in, I don't know, drawing pictures or taking pictures, even that shows that there's something in you that is creative, and it's important to explore just how many voices you might have. Even if you never saw yourself as a dancer or a singer or an actor, it's a good idea to try it out and see if you might be good at it. Aside from that, anyone who finds that they might be different from people around them, that's also usually a sign that there's something special about you, that there's something else that you can express. Everyone should go to drama school because even if the technique of dancing, singing, or acting appeals to you, it's not just going to drama school isn't just that. It's a place where you cannot avoid exploring yourself. There's no way around it. You have to look into every nook and cranny of your own personality, face your demons, face your fears, because there's just no way you can perform properly without going there, going to that place, and finding peace with all of those demons inside, because that will ultimately give you the comfort and the confidence to stand in front of other people and perform. So, and obviously in this group there's always room for people who are passionate about just about the craft. Absolutely. If you're scared and you're not sure what you're capable of, I would say, and I'm sure you will hear this from Sue sometime, you never know until you try. And if you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, then you just might be able to. If you're afraid, it's very important to know that you're not alone. There's so many people, especially this day and age, very young people, who are afraid of expressing themselves, being louder than everyone else for just one moment. And I think that's very sad, because I think that especially young people should feel the freedom to explore and voice their desires, their findings, their explorations, anything. So if you're shy, or if you're scared, or if you're not sure if you can do it, I would say try it out. Try it out, even if it's just for a little while. I'm sure that if anything else, you'll already be drawn to the wonderful atmosphere there is in this class, and if that will keep you there for just a little bit longer, it might just keep you there long enough for you to discover that you actually are capable of something. I think this course is unique for quite a few reasons. Well, some very obvious reasons are its international mindset, because we do our shows in English. We always use original texts from scripts that we might use. Another reason is the level of discipline that is asked, because the classes, they don't have set ages, so you can have a 12-year-old dancing right next to a 17-year-old or even a 20-year-old, but they will be asked to give the same amount of commitment and devotion, and in a weird way, actually, it's very special to be working with people from all ages in one group, because the younger people will be learning from the older people, how to focus their childish impulse towards a very specific goal, and because obviously the older students will have more experience, that will make everything look fantastic, and the younger children will be inspired to be just like that, and they will be inspired to attain that level of skill. So it focuses the younger ones, and at the same time it frees up the older ones, because the older students, they will always in that way be in touch with that young voice in their hearts that will always be free of judgment and censorship, that will always say exactly what it is they're thinking or feeling, without that mature of like, oh, I shouldn't really be saying that. No, just let it out. Be free. Can't be creative without being free. And another reason why this group is so unique is the way Sue teaches. It's very hard to describe, as even if I describe it, it's still something very special to experience herself. But I think the best way to describe it is to say that she has a very, very personal approach to each and every single student of hers. Every single student of hers, she will give them an amazing amount of devotion that will leave you questioning how much devotion she has for so many people. Whenever you commit yourself in her classes, she will reward you by encouraging to go even further. Sue will very accurately recognize what potential you might have and teach you accordingly. She will, she's able to attune her teaching specifically to you and what you need at that time, and she will already be thinking about what you're going to be needing later, after you learn the lesson that you're about to learn right now. It's amazing the amount of individual attention that she can give, and because every single person that walks through the door is an individual person, unique person with a different mindset, a different mentality, a different body, and Sue will be able to fine-tune exactly to you personally, you physically, you emotionally, and it just makes you feel like you're in such safe hands. And at the same time it pushes you, because well, I've known her since I was a little boy, and even now, many years later, I still, every time I step on the stage, I want to make her proud. Most of all, I think it's something that gives me so much joy. I knew that I wanted to be a performer when I was 14, so that was only in my second year, I think. No, 13. In my second year with Sue, that was when I realized that this was something special for me. Because it was an outlet for me. It was a way for me to vent all the frustrations that comes with being a teenager, and then finding out that turning all those negative emotions into something wonderful. It's so rewarding, and it made me more interested. And the more I became interested in the art, I just kept immersing myself more and deeper until I knew for certain that this is what I want to do in life. For me as a performer, one milestone for me was when we were doing West Side Story, and this was quite a big production. We had a live orchestra, and I was playing Tony, and I had to sing live with the live orchestra. It was quite scary, I could tell you. And on the second night, I was singing Tony's first song, Who Knows, Could Be. And then there's this bit where he has this really high note, and every time we were rehearsing it, I was always struggling to get struggling to catch it. And then on the second night, I hit that note right on his face. And from the stage, you could see the lighting box, which is like behind just a little window above the last row in the audience, and I could see Sue barely like a silhouette through that window. And when I hit that note, I happened to be looking in that direction. I could see her arms go up, like, yes, he did it. And it was it was a moment that just obviously I was very proud of my achievement, and just also seeing just how intensely she is living with you in those important moments. Like, Sue is breathing with you at those moments. Yeah, that's definitely one of my best moments.